Welcome to Manflow Yoga. It's yoga for guys.
Hey guys, Manful Yoga, it's Dean, how you doing? So today I wanted to go over some stuff that I haven't really addressed a lot in my previous sessions. And the perception with yoga is that it's mainly done just for flexibility. But probably from my last videos, you can probably tell that there's a lot of core involved and a lot of back involved too. So today I want to do some more exercises that'll focus on your back and your core rather than what we've been doing, which is just about a lot of warrior poses, a lot of lower body strength. So we're going to start off like we usually do, but we're going to transition to the back and core phase a lot quicker than usual. So come to your toes, come to your knees and hands on the mat with your hands below your shoulders and your knees below your hips. And we're going to first just raise your left hand out. Keep your weight even everywhere else. Make sure that your back is still straight, that you could put a broom handle or something on your back and it would stay in place. And then just kick your right leg out. Don't bring it up, just kick it out and extend it back as far as you can possible. At the same time, reach with your left hand and reach as far forward as you can. Engage your core, so squeeze your core in. Roll your pelvis down a little bit so that your core is engaged. And then bring your crown of your head forward. So you should be feeling this in your quads, in your core, and in your left arm. And your right arm should be stabilizing this, so you should feel some pressure in your right arm as well. Bring your right arm back. Bring your left arm, right leg back, bring your left arm back. Reach your right arm up, reach it forward. Keep your neck in line, pull the crown of your head forward, and then reach your left leg up. Push it back. Don't raise it high, just push it back. Extend it as far as you can. Engage your core. Make your body as long as possible. Reaching your right hand, your fingertips as far to the front wall as you possibly can. Making sure that you're pressing down on all fingers in your left hand, so that the pressure is not just on your wrist. Your quads engaged in your left leg, and you're reaching back as far as possible. Lower your leg, lower your hand, and let's push back into a down dog. And let's go through our first flow of the day. So look forward, bring your feet to meet your hands, half lift, if you have a straight back. Lower down, exhaling, inhale, come all the way up. Reach your hands up, Tadasana, mountain pose. Open up your back a little bit here, and forward fold. Bend your knees here, fold your head into your shins if you can. Half lift, neck straight, back long, forward fold. Step back into a front leaning rest position. Lower your knees, lower your body, cobra pose. Reach your body up using just your lower leg strength, keeping your hands on the ground, and pushing the tops of your toes into the ground, using your quads, and using your lower back to help lift you off the ground. Exhaling, push yourself back into a down dog. And here, let's just pedal our feet out back and forth. Walk your dog. Remember in down dog, you're trying to pull your hips up as far back as possible. Up as high as possible while keeping your legs straight and pushing your heels into the ground. At the same time, you want to have a straight back. Your neck should be in line with your spine. And your biceps should frame your ears and your head. So you're trying to form an L. Beginning of the session, you're not going to get there. Let's start working towards it. All right, let's come back to knees and hands. We're going to do some cat cows now. So cat cow, so first you inhale, and you bring your butt up, and you bring your head up, and you're trying to arch your back. Inhaling. Exhale. And you're bringing a rounded spine up. Bringing your head in. Inhale. Cow pose. Exhale.
cat, like an angry cat with a arched back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now come to the back that you had for a cow pose and then push back into a down dog. Feet should be about anywhere from 8 inches to a foot apart. Pushing your heels back toward the ground, engaging your quads so that you have straight legs, and then bring your butt up as high as possible. Trying to keep your back as a straight line. Come to the tops of your toes, bend your heels, look forward, and jump to the front of your mat. Land lightly, half lift, keeping a straight spine. Lower down, forward fold, exhaling. Inhale, come all the way up to mountain pose, Tadasana. Reach up, bring your hands to prayer. And then bring your hands to side with your palms exposed to the front wall and try and find some balance. Figure out where your body is today. From here, let's just step into a crescent lunge. Just drop your right foot back. Your knee is over your ankle in front. Back leg is up and heel is pointed back. Bringing your left hip back and bringing your right hip forward. Making sure your core is engaged, and then reach your hands up. Come back to Tadasana, so just push back into Tadasana like how we came in. We're going to go into the opposite side now, so just reach your left leg back now into a crescent warrior. Knee over ankle, pushing your left leg back, heel pushing back towards the ground above your ankle, above your toes. And bringing your right hip back into the socket and pulling your left hip forward. Core's engaged, hands come up. Couple breaths. Come back into Tadasana, mountain pose. Feel a little bit different now. Let's inhale all the way up, full Tadasana, forward fold, exhaling, half lift. Inhaling, exhaling, forward fold, chair pose. Drop your hips back, drop your butt back. Make sure you can see your toes, and then bring it back up, straight back, crown of the head forward. Reach your hands up to frame your ears. Reach your hands really up. And for increased difficulty, turn your hands so that you really open up your shoulders. Make sure you're pressing your knees together and your thighs together here. And bring your toes off the ground so that the weight is in the middle and in your back of your foot. Look forward. Bring your hands to prayer. Now twist to the right. Root your elbow on the outside of your right knee. And then start to twist, but not pushing with your elbow against your knee. You want to use your core. So start twisting with your lower back first. As you inhale, extend. And as you exhale, turn a little more, using your core strength. Make sure that your butt stays below your knees. Trying to open your heart up toward the side of the wall, but not cranking with your elbow to do so, using your core strength. Come back to middle, forward fold. Spread your legs about 6 inches apart. Use your 2 peace fingers, grab your big toes. Half lift. Forward fold. Use your bicep strength to pull your body into your thighs. Bend your knees as much as possible so that your chest is into your thighs. You can bend them this much if you need to do it. Just make sure that your chest is in your thighs. And then using your bicep strength, start extending your hamstrings, and pulling your body lower down. Relax your head entirely here. That'll help you get lower. A few more breaths. Release your fingers. Bring your toes, heels together. Come back up into chair pose. Biceps frame your ears. Dropping back low, butt back. Toes coming off the ground. Reach your hands up. Make sure your back is long and extended. That your crown of your head is coming forward. Bring your hands to prayer. Twist to the left this time. Put your elbow on the outside of your left knee and use your core strength to twist. As you inhale, you extend your spine, you lengthen. And as you exhale, you twist deeper. First using your lower back and then progressively going higher. But never using your elbow against your knee to simply crank your body open. Using your core strength. Make sure your butt is lower than your knees or at the same level. Reach your hands back around to front and forward fold. Spread your feet again. This time we're going to walk your hands under your feet so that your toes come to your wrist. And then start applying some pressure with your toes onto your wrist, massaging your hands a little bit. You start to feel a really nice stretch in your back. Just surrender into that. Let your head hang. Start to straighten your legs. Nice rounded back. Bringing your chest into your thighs and trying to bring your hamstrings. Trying to bring your body, your lower body higher, and trying to extend the stretch of your hamstrings. Release your hands. Toe heel your feet together. Let's come into a chair pose again. And spring out of chair pose into a Tadasana. Reassess where you are. Feel what's different, how much you've progressed. And now you're going to take your right leg back into Crescent Warrior. Make sure that your knee is still over your ankle, that you're pushing back in your back leg, that that leg is up, that it's as straight as possible. And then bend into it, pulling this hip, pulling your left hip back into the hip socket, pulling your right hip forward. And now bring your hands to prayer. Spring out of that, your full Crescent Warrior. Make sure your core is engaged. Make sure you've got a good angle in your front leg. You're pushing back in your back leg, core's engaged, and that's you're framing your ears with your biceps. Bring your hands to prayer. Lean forward a little bit so that it's like a line from your back foot, all the way from your back foot, up through your leg, your back, through the crown of your forehead. And then you're just going to twist. Put your elbow on the outside of your left leg, and then use your core strength to twist your body. Same thing as last time. Inhaling, extending your spine, lengthening your spine, and exhaling, twisting, using your core strength and your back strength to open up. And if you feel like you've got this under control, drop your right hand and then open up with your left hand and try and open your body up to the side wall. If your back cracks when you're doing this, you're probably using your upper body to crank your back open. Don't do that. Bring your hands back to meet in prayer, if they are not in prayer, and twist. Put your hands down, frame your left foot. Bring your left foot back and up into a three-legged dog. Extend as far as possible. And come into your first flow of the day. So, chaturangas, prepare to flow. Lower your body. Up dog, using your legs and your lower back strength to push up. Pushing your tops of your feet against the ground. Opening your chest up to the wall. And push back, exhaling into down dog. Look forward. Bring your heels up. Bring your feet to meet your hands. Landing lightly. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Utkatasana, chair pose. Bring your toes off the ground. Drop your butt back, drop your hips down. Core's engaged. Back's long, extended. Crown of the head. Pulling out, imagine there's a line of energy coming from the crown of your head in front of you. And your biceps frame your ears. Spring out of this into Tadasana. And now we're going to drop our left leg back into Crescent Warrior. Do it in control. Make sure that your knee is over your ankle and your front leg. That you got about 6-inch distance between your feet. If you were to draw lines from the inside of your feet up and down the mat, there'd be about 6 inches between the lines, these parallel lines from the inside of your feet. And make sure that you're pushing back on your back foot. Your right hip pulls in, your left hip pulls up, pulls forward, core engages, and you reach up with your hands. Biceps framing your ears. Bending deeper into the pose if you can. Bring your hands to prayer now. Bend forward, extend forward, twist so that your elbow comes to the outside of your right knee, and then using your core strength, squeeze your body and cleanse. Make sure you're using your core strength to do this though. If you can't do this, if you can't balance, just drop your knee and do it like this. As you breathe in, extend. And then you breathe out, twist. And then again, if this feels good, stay here. If you can go a little farther, open your hands up more. Bring your hands back to prayer. Spin forward. Bring your hands to frame your feet. Come to a three-legged dog with your right leg. Extend it as far back as you can. Come forward to a front leaning rest position and prepare to flow. Arms come in tight, elbows tucked to body, lower down, exhaling. Inhaling, up dog. Using your lower body strength to push your body up. And exhaling, come to a down dog. Let's just do some crow pose, just for fun here. Be a little different today. So bend your knees, jump forward. Spread your feet. So that you've got a nice squat pose. And then lower down. If you feel a little weird in your hips, bring your feet a little closer together. Push your elbows to the inside of your knees. And spread out a little bit more. Get a nice hip opener. Bring your hands to the mat. Start to transfer the weight of your body to your hands, pressing equally on the points of your fingers so that the weight is not just in your wrist. And then bring your feet back together behind you. Ankles meeting. Crow pose. Bakasana with a B, as in boy. Bakasana. Come back to the mat now. Come back to your squat. Bring your feet together about a foot apart now. Come to a squat with your toes off the ground. You're gonna twist your hands around so on the outside. And then you're gonna try what's called side crow pose. You're just gonna lean your weight of your body so your elbow comes into your butt here. And your right hand pushes, your right elbow serves as a resting point for your knee. And then you're just gonna transfer the weight slowly. And you're gonna come to side crow pose. If you can't do this, don't worry about it. It's just something fun to do. Let's come to the other side now. Bring your hands around the other side. Plug your elbow into your around your butt area, and then your right elbow around your knee, and start to just transfer the weight and let it come over. Just some fun, no pressure. Come back to middle. Spread your feet about 6 inches again. Up with a straight back. And let's just do a slow up and down squat. So stick your hands out straight in front of you and rise slowly on your toes. Another 5 count all the way down. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands under your hand, and bring your hands in front of you, about 6 inches in front of your toes. Try and tuck your knees into your armpits, or as high as you can, and then come into crow pose. Make sure that you're pressing equally on all tips of your fingers, so that the weight just is not in your wrist. And then from here, we're going to come into a front leaning rest position. So just kick out, and then lower down, chaturanga. Up dog. And down dog, exhaling. onto your back. We're going to do, we're going to start with bridge pose. So hands come to alongside your body, palms into the ground, and prepare to come up. So just bring your hips up, engage in your legs and go engage in your hips and your glutes. Bring your hands underneath your body, interlacing the fingers. Try and coming up higher and higher with each breath. Pushing your knees forward, bringing your knees together, lower down. Your second pose of that. So make sure that when you're coming into bridge pose, you're actually going to be trying to keep your knees about, what's that, 10 inches? About 10 inches apart, 8 to 10 inches. And then as you're coming, your back is getting, as your hips are getting higher and the weight's moving farther into your shoulders, you need to continue to maintain pressure so that your knees are still trying to force themselves together. You don't want to get into a bridge pose and start having your knees come apart. That's when we have problems. So make sure that you're keeping the pressure applied so that your knees are trying to stay together or stay closer together. So again, hands come on the mat, palms down. Breathe in. Exhaling, come up. Bring your hands together, interlace them under your body. Pushing up on your feet. Keeping your knees closer together. Engaging your glutes so that you come higher. A couple more breaths. Exhale, release. Alright, we're going to do one thing. We're going to do one core exercise on your back that I find extremely difficult, but very beneficial. So you're just going to stick your legs out straight in front of you and bring them up straight as possible with your back into the ground. I realize this is hard for a lot of people, so if you can only bring them up this high, do that. Just make sure that your lower back is into the ground. You're going to work on flexibility in your lower back and opening your back as you continue to do yoga, but it's not going to happen for you right away. So come to this position with your lower back into the ground. Try and push your heels up and try and pull your toes down so your feet are dorsiflexed. Hands are at your side. And just on a very slow count, you're going to take 8 breaths and lower your feet. Engaging your core as much as possible, but at the same time pushing your lower back into the ground. Maybe about halfway there now. If your back starts to come off the ground, just stop there. If you can do this with keeping your back, pushing your lower back into the ground, then do it. Bring your head off the ground now. Look at your feet. Make sure that your lower back's still pressing against the ground. And come back up on that same slow count. So 8 deep breaths as you come up, pushing your lower back into the ground. Bring your knee in the chest, release. All right, I want everybody to find a wall if you can. We're going to work on some back opening. You're going to recognize this as a wheel pose somewhat. So just put your hand against the wall like this, as if you would walk down the wall. You're not going to. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you do that. Make sure that your feet are on something stable. Don't just do it if the ground's slippery, because then you might fall and hurt yourself and then yell at me. So don't hurt yourself.
put your hands against the wall, like so, and start walking them down.
Trying to maintain a length in your back, so keeping your hips forward, keeping a long spine.
Just trying to get some opening right here.
Just find a spot where you can tolerate it and stay there. Make sure that you're applying pressure to the wall still, that the weight isn't all in your back, that you can ease off if you need to. I'm just gonna hold this a few seconds. If you feel your lumbar really pinched, don't do this. Come up a little higher. Five more breaths. 3, 2, 1. Walk your hands back up the wall. Come out of it the same way you came in. And then just do a forward fold. Like this. Bring your feet about a foot apart and come into ragdoll pose. Grab your elbows with opposite hands. Let your head hang loose. And just let some relief come to your back. Try and bring your hips up higher to get a deeper stretch in your hamstrings. Drop your hands. Bring your feet together. Let's do a half lift. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, coming all the way up into mountain pose, Tadasana. Forward fold. Half lift. Come and do a chaturanga. Lower down. Inhale, up dog. Push back into down dog. Come to child's pose now. This is gonna help alleviate some pain in your lower back, or whatever, not pain, but the openings that you've done earlier. This will help be a nice counter pose for that. And I'm gonna leave you here today. So I want you to go into child's pose for about 5 minutes after this ends. As you're in child's pose, reach your hips back as far as possible and reach your hands forward as much as you can. And you're gonna feel a lot of great relief right in your lower back. So thanks for watching. Namaste. Follow me on Twitter at manfulyoga, or check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/manfulyoga. See you guys later.